What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Addicted to Madden channel. Got some get some Bengals gameplay for you. This is the second Bengals gameplay that I have. I figured I would redeem myself after the putrid attempt I had last time where I got shut out 24-0. I definitely played better on this one. So this guy chose the Bengals. I was pretty happy. I wanted to redeem myself. The Bengals, although they aren't the highest rated team in this game, in real life they're looking like the best team. I think they're undefeated, and they've been playing really well in real life. So they got Andy Dalton, who's looking like a pretty good young quarterback, and then they got AJ Green, who's obviously good in real life, but he's very tough to guard in this game as well. He's just a really good receiver, and they've got good running back, and they're good everywhere. They've just a complete total just good team. So I know that it's going to be tough whenever I go up against them. I'm sure there'll be more games in the future that I'm going to end up seeing them, and it's going to be tough. But this depending on how good the guy is though, and if he uses them right, we'll see what happens. I end up D'ing him up pretty well, so he has to settle for a field goal. So as usual, I'm using the Panthers, and with the run up the middle there, he stops that. Trying to figure out what kind of defense he likes to play, and I get the he likes to do a lot of zone. I mean, he was actually mixing it up. Never mind, on that play he was playing man, and on every play that I call, even if you've been playing zone the whole game, I still call the plays as if you are going to play man, and I always look for my man read first. And so right there, again, those corner routes, and that crushes man coverage. So I end up getting the touchdown there, and he's behind 7-3, and I pretty much milked the rest of that first quarter. And but he still has time to score, and I think I get the ball at the half, so he's really gonna need to score. But he ends up going for it on fourth, and I stop him. So now I'm in a really good position to if I can get another touchdown, that would be really good, because I believe he gets the ball at the half. I can't remember, but that right there was a near pick, and he ends up D'ing me up well, so I end up having to settle for a field goal. So now he's got a chance. He's got actually close to 3 minutes, all of his timeouts. He's got which is plenty of time for him to get down the field and get a touchdown even, so that way he would end up tying the game. And then when he gets the ball at the half, he's in a good position to win the game. He can control the clock in the whole second half, and just manage it well enough, and ultimately win this game. Goes for the screen there, and I'm glad that the screens are. I actually don't like running screens because I don't know how well they're going to work. Sometimes screens work really well, and then sometimes the screens get they get D'd up really well. But the thing is usually when you run a screen, it's a one read play. I mean, you're obviously just going to throw it to the guy that the screen is set up for, and if by chance it's bottled up, then you're not going to have time to look elsewhere because you're going to get sacked. He gets the bomb there to AJ Green, and like I said, AJ Green is hard to guard. I love playing zone defense, just because I think man is way too easy to beat. But the one vulnerability to any zone that you play is that you have the one-on-one coverage deep. So he ended up throwing that bomb, so I threw this bomb. That's why I called this game Bombs Away, because that's all we were doing, was just throwing bombs. And at first I couldn't figure out how to stop the bombs. I thought in the previous gens, obviously when the ball's in the air, you can either pick the ball off, or you can swat the ball away. In the previous gens, to pick the ball off, you press triangle. If you wanted to swat it away, you press L1. I believe it was L1. So when I got PS4, I assumed it was the same. I assumed that L1 was also going to be the SWAT button. Turns out it wasn't. It turns out L1 is just the defense assist. So if you press L1, you're just gonna do what the computer thinks is the best option. And so every time I've pressed L1, the computer has always tried to go up for the pick, and obviously it's never worked. They always end up catching the bomb over me. Turns out, and so for a while I didn't think there was a swap button. So that really pissed me off. I was like, how can you have this game and not have a swap button? That's just stupid. I don't want to always pick the ball off, because sometimes you don't want to try to go for the pick. You want to just knock the ball out of the air. So I ended up reading the manual, the little like online manual. Turns out the swap button was R1. So I wish I had known that before I was getting bombed so much, because in a lot of my losses I give up probably 1 or 2 bombs in the game, and they were bombs that I could have probably just knocked away, but didn't know which button was the swap button. So they ended up, catching the bombs, and then that's how they ended up getting touchdowns, and they ended up beating me. I really now wish I could go back and play those games again. There's another bomb attempt, and he gets that one. See, as you can see, my guy went up for the pick because I didn't know what the SWAT button was, but that was definitely a swattable pass. If I had known what the SWAT button was, I'm sure I could have swatted that away. So, so now that I know, and it shouldn't happen in the future unless like my guy gets really torched, then there's just nothing you can do about it. If you give up the if the coverage is so bad that you end up, the guy beats you anyways, then I can't, I'm not gonna be able to swat it either. But but for the ones that are close, I could always just swat it, and then I won't get bombed anymore. So I wish I could go back and play those games, but it is what it is. So he ends up cutting the game within 3, and I end up going for it on 4th and converting. I didn't want to give him the ball back at all, so I went for it. I just went ahead and went for it, because if he was going to get it back, I'd rather he score quickly, and that way I can get the ball back. So I go for the QB sneak there, and they actually ended up giving it to me, and then so that's pretty much the game right there. Like I said, I redeemed myself against the Bengals. Actually won this time, and just QB nailed the game out. And he was actually a very good player. I liked playing him. He was a good player, And so Cam Newton has a pretty good game as well, but so did Andy Dalton. He used him really well. Anyways, this video is wrapping up. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.